Story of our two hands touching. Mike, say a few words.
In our lifetimes, we will never see a president like Donald J. Trump again. I want every one of you to make a commitment to get out and vote November 3rd and absolutely refuse to lose. This is the president, this is the time, this is your solemn oath to America. We're going to make America great again, because of Donald J. Trump. There's no flu that's going to keep this man down. He makes the Energizer Bunny look like a deadhead. This guy never stops. He never sleeps. He is totally dedicated to each one of you, and we should be totally dedicated to him. I love this president. I love his agenda, and I love the fact that on November 3rd, we're going to put him back in the White House. Mr. President, thank you.
What a great guy. Well, that was not a bad job. Not a bad job. He's a great guy, though. He really is. You're lucky to have him. Good job. You know, he shows up without the jacket. I feel a little like guilty, Mike, without. You're not cold, Mike, I hope, right? Don't be too brave. We got to keep him around, right, Mike? Thank you, Mike. Great job. I appreciate it. Under my administration, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we're doing it again. In my first 3 years, we increased family income over $6,000. Listen to this, more than 5 times the gains in all 8 years under the previous administration. Think of that. In just a short period of time, African-American unemployment, Hispanic American unemployment, and Asian American unemployment all reached their lowest levels in the history of our country. Think of that. We lifted nearly 7 million Americans out of poverty, a record, including nearly 1.2 million African Americans out of poverty. Since April, just now, we created a record, never happened like this, 11.4 million brand new American jobs. That's never happened before. And you know, you were hearing, it sounds terrible to me when I say it, but you were hearing about 38% unemployment, right? 38, you were hearing 42%. So it was, oh, that's fake news. Hey, thank goodness. But you know what it was 2 weeks ago? 7.8%. Now, 7.8, well, we're at 3.4 and 3.5. I don't like to say 7.8, but when you think about it, they were saying, we're going to 42%. You know, not our fault. We had this plague come in from China. We're going to 42%, 38%, 38%, 7.8%, and heading down rapidly. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. Under Biden, it took 30 months to recover more than half of the jobs lost in a crisis. We did it in less than 5 months. We've spent the last 4 years reversing the damage Joe Biden inflicted over the last 47 years. You saw what he's done. You know, it's amazing. He's always like, you know, it's not him. He's not being critical. But he has writers. They say, oh, let's do this, that. You know, I have all this stuff. Vice President Biden said. He has no idea what he said. But you know what I get? He just, you know, he didn't leave long ago. He was here for 8 years as vice president and 47 years plus as a politician in Washington. Think of it. And he's always like, why didn't he do this? Why the hell didn't he do it? He just, you know, why didn't he do it? 47 years, Joe, why didn't you do it? He supported NAFTA, TPP, which would have destroyed your industry, and China's entry into the World Trade Organization. One cruel betrayal after another, it's true. I mean, what he's done. For decades, our politicians spent trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars, and defending Foreign borders, now we're doing our borders. Do you like that better? But now we're finally protecting our nation, rebuilding our cities, and we are bringing our jobs, our factories, and our troops, our beautiful, beloved troops. We're bringing them all back home. It's time. 19 years to save our auto industry. I withdrew from the last administration's Trans-Pacific Partnership. Pennsylvania gained, Michigan. Auto factories, auto plants being built all over Michigan, Ohio. There wasn't a plant built in 42 years. Now they're being built all over the place. In Japan, I told the Prime Minister, you have to give us plants. You can't just keep sending us cars. You got to make them over here. And they started, and you're a big beneficiary of it. To defend our steel and aluminum workers, I imposed very historic tariffs on dumped steel, right? And that happened, and U.S. Steel, all of your places started doing great. I ended the NAFTA nightmare and signed the brand new USMCA, just kicked in. You know how I know it's good? Because the other two countries aren't so happy. It's good. They took advantage of us for a long time. I took the toughest ever action to confront China's rampant theft of American jobs. Nobody has ever done. And you know what? Nobody's ever done anything like this to China. We're taking in billions. Right now we're taking in billions. Billions and billions of dollars. It affects you a little bit. We gave $28 billion to our farmers because they were targeted by China. And that was just a small fraction of what I took in. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure border, southern border in U.S. history. So we're building 10 miles. You know, the wall is going to be completed very soon. And we had radical opposition to the wall. Radical opposition. We'll be at 500 miles very soon, and we'll be completed with the wall. And by the way, Mexico, you know, they keep saying Mexico is paying for the wall. They understand that. They're paying for the wall. Mexico's paying for it, and it's very high, just like I said it would be, and it actually goes down very deep. You know why? 2 reasons, actually. Number 1, to hold it up. Number 2, to stop the tunnels. My opponent's immigration plan is the most extreme proposal ever put forward by a presidential candidate. Biden would eliminate U.S. borders. How about that? Do you like that idea? Okay? Just think of it from a practice. How the hell do you have a country if you don't have borders? He would eliminate, and you know, that's signed in the manifesto with Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie.
Okay, that's
Bernie's one of the, I'll tell you what, he's one of the greatest losers. And I mean,